We're at Pom Fest and I found some people who are talking to me very loud, talking next to me. Look who I found. It's the Three Musketeers. Yay! We're together again! We have on! Are you losing your voice?
I've done a lot of talking today.
This is day one.
Day one is like lunchtime maybe. Maybe not even that yet.
My lovely girls are here. I'm so happy. I'm in my happy place.
I feel so left out. I don't have lipstick on.
Oh,
It's like just me.
she didn't get the memo about
Didn't get a memo.
lipstick.
But
But yeah,
fabulous, so it's okay.
we've already done some damage. I've done some damage. Nikki's done some damage. I don't think Amy has because she's so busy. She hasn't left the booth.
I haven't actually paid for my yarn yet.
You haven't paid for it.
I got some yarn from Finch and I need to give her actual money later. I was like, do you want cash? Do you want cash? I feel like I've got cash.
Yeah, that's probably a necessity, is eventually paying for the yarn that you've actually bought. But yeah, we are having a really lovely time. We haven't done much filming yet. I will rectify that a little bit later. But I think Nikki and I are going to go and sit and knit for a bit.
I want to
Sit and knit for a bit.
You didn't saw it, you didn't know.
Yeah, but yeah, we're having a lovely time. Look who else I found! His video. I'm so happy.
It'll be fine.
In case you don't know, this is Nessa from Kilter Craft, and I feel like my life is finally complete because we've now met in person.
Oh,
It's so lovely. Look at how beautiful she is. Even more beautiful in person. And she is on a podcast.
Squishing you.
Squishing. There's been a lot of squishing. There's
Yeah,
been a lot of love.
squishing.
Not a love and squishing, but yeah.
Squishing.
People squishing. Yeah.
I'm just so happy that you're here.
Hi everybody, I really hoped you enjoyed that little bit of beginning footage from Pomfest. Yeah, it's Katie here, in case you don't know. Katie, the host of the Inside Number 23 podcast. And as I said in last week's episode, this week is going to be a little bit different. I visited Pom Fest this week, as you will already know from the very beginning of this video. And I thought it would be fun if this week I just focus on everything that went on at Pom Fest, share some little purchases, cheeky little purchases that were made, and just talk about the whole experience. So first of all, welcome if you're a new viewer, and huge welcome back if you are one of my long-term viewers. As always, you can find me on pretty much all the social medias as Miss Lavelli. I'm most active on Instagram though, so good idea to follow me on there if you want regular updates. And you can find all of the show notes for this podcast just down below in the down bar. If you do want to contact me regarding anything to do with the podcast, please just drop me an email. My email is katie@insidenumber23.com. And yeah, just drop me a line and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So yes, Pomfest happened this week. Pomfest was an incredible event hosted by the lovely ladies of Pom Quarterly magazine, which is a fantastic yarny magazine which was celebrating its 5th birthday, and that's what Pomfest was all about. I visited on the Friday. The event was on a Friday and a Saturday, but I was there on the Friday. And a huge thank you to everybody who came and said hello. It was so nice to meet so many viewers of the podcast, and also to catch up with some old friends and actually meet some old friends as well. Nessa, I'm looking at you. But yeah, it was a really lovely time, and I'm still kind of getting over my yarn hangover a little bit. It is Sunday today, and I'm still feeling it 2 days later. I'm still a little bit worse for wear, clearly not as full of energy as I was in my early 20s. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the entire event and what we got up to, and it was just a wonderful day. So Pomfest in itself, like I said, was held over 2 days. It involved an incredible marketplace, which was small but perfectly formed, with some really lovely kind of yarny businesses from all over the place. There were people there that I have never seen at fibre festivals before, which was great because I go to a lot in the UK and you tend to get the same people kind of recycled, as it were, which is fine, but it was nice to meet some new people, which was lovely. They also had a lot of talks, free talks that were organised over the 2-day period. I didn't actually go to see any because I never get my act together for things like that, which is a little bit silly, but from what I gather, those were wonderful. Also on the Friday night, they had Pomcast Live, which was the live recording of an episode of Pomcast, which is the podcast, the audio podcast done by some of the ladies of Pom Pom, which I very much recommend if you haven't listened to it before. So yeah, loads going on over a 2-day period. And it was quite nice having it a little bit closer to home because London is not too far away from where I am. So it was relatively easy to get to, which was great. I actually visited with one of my good friends, Nikki, of the Tea and Possibilities podcast, and we hung out a lot with our friend Amy of the Stranded podcast and Stranded Dye Works, and her lovely friend Nikki, who you will know if you watch Amy's podcast. And we just had a really, really lovely time hanging out, making purchases, and it was a lovely, 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 lovely day. I cannot stress how lovely it was. There are not enough ways for me to say that it was a lovely, lovely day, but it was pretty much perfect. In terms of vendors and that type of thing, I am going to be getting on to some of the cheeky little purchases that I made in a little bit, but there were some vendors there that I didn't end up buying from, but I was really, really excited to see what they have. Le Bien Ami was there again. I have seen them before at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I didn't end up purchasing anything from them this time. I did buy some yarn from them at EYF, but I was sorely tempted to get some more of their DK weight yarn because it's beautiful and everything that they do is absolutely gorgeous. But yes, I managed to hold off on buying something from them. But in addition to that, there was Viola Yarns, who I've never seen in person. That was really, really exciting. Fine Fish Yarns was there again. I have seen Fine Fish Yarns previously, I think at Unravel, and I've yet to make a purchase from them, but I think it's going to happen in the near future. There were some old favourites of mine, Easy Knits, for example, I've seen a couple of times and they were there. Pink Hazel Knits, where I've bought a project bag from previously. Basically a lovely, lovely selection of people, and very, very well curated. I thought just from the type of vendors that were there, that would make me excited to go again if Pom Pom hold Pomfest again next year. I know that it was special for their birthday, but I know that they've done events previously. I know they do a Christmas party and that type of thing, so perhaps this will be something that's repeated, and I very much hope so. Before I get on to all of the exciting bits and pieces that I picked up at Pomfest, I want to talk about a couple of things which were kind of like additional treats, I guess, to the whole Pomfest experience, because it wasn't just buying things that made me happy. Oh no, oh no. First of all, Pom Pom themselves, the way that the entire venue was set up was there was a large room for the marketplace, then there was a sort of bar area, there was the area where the live talks were happening, and in addition to that there was a kind of lounge area which was really lovely as well. I know that Ravelry through lovely Nessa of Kiltercraft were doing kind of sit and knit throughout the day in the lounge area, so on the tables, on the sofas, which was lovely, very relaxed and chilled. But Pom Pom had their own kind of stand up there with lots of past editions of their magazine, in addition to the anniversary editions that they've produced recently for their 5th birthday. But they also had, and this was so exciting, some samples from the new Bristol Ivy collection, which is going to be going live this autumn, and I cannot wait. So in addition to Pom Pom Quarterly, Pom Pom also has Pom Pom Press, which is basically a production company of patterns. That was very badly worded, I apologise, but they produce pattern books in addition to the magazine, and all of their books are always really, really lovely quality, and I cannot tell you how excited I am about this new Bristol Ivy collection, which will be coming out in the autumn. We actually got to get hands-on with these samples, and I would be interested in the collection, to be honest, whether I'd seen the samples or not, because I'm a big Bristol Ivy fan, I'm a big Pom Pom fan, so it was kind of a no-brainer. But actually seeing some of these pieces in person blew my mind. I'm pretty sure it blew Nikki's mind as well, but I'm going to cut in here some footage that I took of us admiring some of those beautiful Bristol Ivy samples. So enjoy.
What are we going to buy, Nikki?
We are going to buy Bristol Ivy's new book.
Oh my goodness. Show me the magic.
We have welts.
Yeah.
We have pocketses.
And you know how we love a pocket.
And it's just beautiful.
Yes.
It's a good length as well, I think.
Everything on this rack. This is all samples. And I'm losing my mind over every single one.
Squidgy and lovely, Rio.
Squidgy and lovely.
Squidgy and lovely. It's a technical term.
Yeah.
I love this colour.
Oh.
Beautiful.
I think I've lost my heart a little bit to this one as well. Oh. Look at that. And what's that particular colour called, Nikki?
I call it baby sick green, but it's very flattering on a multitude of people.
But in the nicest possible use of the term baby sick. Yes.
I love a shrug.
I love a shrug too. Right.
Oh,
so.
Wait.
Oh my goodness.
This is so.
Oh.
Oh my god, I love it so much.
So this has been Nikki and Bristol Ivy's patterns. Safe to say we're both going to be knitting everything that is in this book. Let's look.
There you go, that's the book.
That's the money shot right there.
Can you blame me, really, for wanting to knit every single pattern from that new collection? I think it's going to be incredible. I think I feel a knit along coming on, perhaps. We'll see. We'll see when the book is in my hot little hands, but honestly, oh, such a treat. Such a treat to a lovely addition to an already incredible day. The next amazing little extra something or other that I just think we were so lucky to be able to see that at an event like this was, you may or may not know about the incredible illustrator Katie Green, who does a lot of illustrations for Pom Pom. Pretty much every edition of Pom Pom, I think, has one of her illustrations in it, and she's incredible. She's a very, very talented illustrator. Something that she put together for Pomfest was an auction of some of the originals of her artwork. And guys, they were absolutely beautiful. Basically, they'd been organised into different lots. And they were all originals from some of the beautiful illustrations that she's done in past editions of the magazine. And I kind of lost my mind a little bit. I did bid on one of the collections of prints in particular, but I got outbid, unsurprisingly, seeing as bidding was taking part on both the Friday and the Saturday. But all of the proceeds of the auction went to the My Body Back project, and I think Katie posted on Instagram this morning to say that over £900 was raised towards that cause, which I just think is wonderful. And I mean, you couldn't help yourself but bid on these pieces of art. Such a talented lady. Blows my mind at her ability to create such beautiful, beautiful things. And I was actually lucky enough at Pomfest to meet Katie in the flesh for the first time. It was very, very exciting. Katie, if you're watching, it was so good to meet you and give you a hug and have a chat with you in real life. I really completely fangirled a little bit. But very excitingly, and kind of additional to some of the other lovely haul bits and pieces that I'm going to be sharing with you, Katie, you may or may not know, has also, in addition to being an incredible illustrator, written her own book. This is that book. It's called Lighter Than My Shadow. And it's a hefty tome. It is absolutely amazing. She was kind enough to bring a copy for me to Pomfest, and I will be reviewing this soon for Inside number 23. But believe me, if you are a fan of what Katie does, you will absolutely adore this. I haven't finished it yet. I've been kind of not allowing myself to overindulge in it because it's a graphic novel. and it's very easy to kind of plow very quickly through graphic novels, and I have to kind of ration myself on them, but what I've read so far is incredible. If you're a fan of Katie and what she does, I would definitely recommend that you pick up a copy, but bear in mind I will be doing a review at a later date. I'm so excited to share it with you properly, but again, thank you, Katie. It was incredible to meet you, and totally overwhelmed at your awesomeness. But I think it's about time that we talk about what you guys are really interested in, and that is going to be the haul. I know some people don't like hauls, but the majority of my viewers, I think, like to check out what's gone on at festivals by seeing what people pick up, and I may or may not have treated myself to some lovely, lovely things. I'm excited about this. I've had a bit of a pants couple of weeks in terms of stress and overall anxiety, and I was looking forward to Pomfest in order to be able to treat myself a little bit, and my goodness did I. I made purchases from 3 different vendors at Pomfest, and I'm gonna talk about them all one by one because that's, I guess, what you do with this type of thing. But anyway, let's get started with my first purchase. Now, I must admit, from the second that I walked through the doors at Pomfest, I could feel my money flying out of my wallet. It was very, very tempting, and there were a lot of places that I wanted to make purchases from, like I said, from the second that I walked through the door. I was quite, I suppose, organised in terms of what I wanted to buy, because I was buying for specific projects. I knew that I wanted to purchase a sweater's quantity of yarn. Not that I need it because I have a lot, but I thought that would be a lovely thing to get from Pomfest, because I specifically wanted to knit up one of their patterns from either or of their anniversary editions of Pom Pom Quarterly. So they produced 2 different magazines for their birthday. Obviously, the big one is the anniversary edition, which is chock-a-block full of patterns. But they also re-released edition 1 of Pom Pom magazine. And I must admit, I fell head over heels in love with this cardigan, the one that's on the front cover. It's beautiful, with this gorgeous zigzag detailing around the cuffs and the hem of the cardigan. And I kind of lost my heart to this. So the idea was to pick up yarn for this cardigan. The reason that I keep calling it this cardigan is that rather comically throughout the day I could not remember the name of this pattern to save my life. So much so that poor Nikki, who was with me for the majority of the day, every 5 minutes or so was having me ask her, Nikki, what's the name of the pattern? And I called it the Netherford, the Netherville. I couldn't understand what this pattern was called, and it is in fact called the Netherton cardigan. Poor Nikki. It was kind of ridiculous. As the Netherford,
Netherton.
the Netherview,
Netherton.
Nether, something Nether. Oh dear. I mean, luckily she is one of the kindest, most lovely individuals in the world, and held no ill will against me and my terrible lack of being able to remember the pattern name. And thank goodness she was there. Otherwise I would never have remembered the name when everyone was asking me what the yarn I bought was for. Just nothing. Netherton is the pattern that I wanted to make for, and so I was on the hunt for that specific yarn. It's knit in DK weight yarn, and at first, like I said, I was tempted by Le Bien Ami, but I didn't want to kind of blow my budget in the first stall that I went into, which was basically Le Bien Ami. And I decided to have a little wander around, look at some other things before I made any big purchases. And I'd say a little bit, maybe 15-20 minutes later, I found myself in the Wool Kitchen booth. Now, I've never actually purchased anything from the Wool Kitchen before. I believe I have seen them at other events, but I can't really tell you because I haven't made a purchase from them previously, but I know them by reputation and I've loved their yarn for quite some time. And I had the privilege of meeting lovely Helen, who is the main dyer behind the Wool Kitchen, and I just fell head over heels in love with some of her yarn. It was pretty much the first thing that leapt out to me at her stall, and I just knew that I had to take it home when I was kind of cradling several skeins like a little baby and nestling into them, and I thought, yeah, these really kind of have to come home with me now because I'm treating them like my child. So let me show you what I purchased from the Wool Kitchen. So I have 4 skeins of this beautiful colourway. It's called Champagne Supernova, and it is glorious. So here we have the label, the Wool Kitchen, and as you can see, the majority of this skein is kind of natural, but then we get this little area here that is all speckledy goodness. It's kind of like confetti cupcakes, I always think when I look at it, and I love it. I've been on quite a neon kick for quite some time, but I haven't quite had the guts to pull off like a bright neon outfit, which is why this yarn really called my name, because it's a lovely neutral colour because it's the natural white, but it also has this little pop of neon, which when it's knitted up, and she had quite a few samples at her booth, which was lovely, when it's knitted up, it's just every so often you get this little speckling of gorgeous neon speckly goodness. And this yarn will be my, what is it, Nikki? My Netherton cardigan. Goodness, I can't even say cardigan now. My Netherton cardigan. And it's just really lovely because I know that I've got some yarn purchased at Pom Fest for a pom-pom specific design, and I really can't wait to get this on the needles. I think this is going to make me super happy. And yes, it's beautiful DK. In terms of the blend, it is Blueface Leicester, which is, you know, one of my favourite kinds of yarn. I much prefer Blueface Leicester to Merino, to be perfectly honest. So this is, not that I dislike Merino, I just like BFL better. And yeah, it's gorgeous and squidgy and lovely, and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to get this finished, or get it started even. So the next booth that I actually made a purchase at was a collaboration booth. And this is when I'm probably going to embarrass myself by pronouncing this name incorrectly. But the booth, I believe, was Ching Fibers. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, and if not, I am so sorry. Please correct me, guys, if that's incorrect, because I'm such a fan of Ching Fibers. But it's one of those words that if you've never spoken it out loud and only seen it written down, because it's Q-I-N-G, you're probably going to mispronounce it, and I am the queen of mispronunciation anyway. But it was Ching Fibers was the main booth, but she was also hosting the Twisted Finch and his beautiful yarn company. So it was Layla of Ching Fibers, Nathan of the Twisted Finch, and I knew from the second that I found out that they were both vending that I needed to check out their booth. I feel that as dyers, they represent 2 different but equally loved sides of my personality in terms of what they produce. Layla's yarn is, I mean, she looks like a beautiful unicorn rainbow princess. If you meet her in real life, she doesn't look like she should be a real person. She is beautiful, and her yarn and her aesthetic is completely reflective of who she is as a person. She does a lot of beautiful rainbow coloured yarns, and they look like a dream. And so that's a very big side of something that appeals to me, all of those beautiful colours and ethereal quality and everything like that. Nathan is quite different in terms of what he does with the Twisted Finch yarn, but it appeals to me just as much. He has some gorgeous, rich, deep, earthy colourways, which, you know, I'm an autumn girl. I love all of that kind of stuff, and his Instagram feed gives me life. Oh my goodness, it is just gorgeous. It makes me want to become a hermit with a cup of coffee and surround myself with yarn and live in the warmth and the coziness forever, because that's just the feel that I get from pretty much everything that he posts on Instagram. It's that, oh, I just want to hug myself in all of this gorgeousness. So seeing them both in one place kind of blew my mind a little bit, because both sides of my personality I love, and having all of that catered to in one stand was just incredible. Plus, I have never seen either Layla or Nathan vend at a different Yarny event, so it was very, very exciting to get to see them in person. Suffice it to say, of course I was going to have to make a purchase at their booth. That was kind of a no-brainer as far as I was concerned. And although it took me a very long time to make a decision, because I was umming and ahhing for a huge length of time because of the amount of different bits and pieces that they had, I finally managed to make a decision, and I'm so happy with it. So I actually picked two skeins, one from Layla and one from Nathan, that I thought would work really nicely together in terms of a project. And it's these skeins. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I can't handle it. Right, I'm gonna start with the Ching fibers. This colorway is called Siren. It's on an MCM base, but it's a really plump fingering weight, and Layla actually said to me it works almost like a DK weight. So I've actually got DK weight in Nathan's Twisted Finch yarn, and I think that these are going to work beautifully together. But let me just show you this a little bit more up close and personal. Look at these speckles. So again, it's beautiful, natural with some speckling. There's green in there, black, golden yellow. I mean, come on. Here's her lovely label. And this is her super soft sock, but like I said, it's an MCN base. And I mean, I love MCN. It's one of the squidgiest, softest things in the world. And this yarn really called to me. I kept picking it up and putting it down, picking it up and putting it down, because I was very tempted by a lot of other colorways that Layla dyes that are crazy bright, you know, unicorn rainbow princess style yarns. But this was just calling my name, and I'm a big fan of a kind of natural with a speckle. Some of my favourite yarns that I've had in the past are kind of more along these lines. So I kept picking this up, and I just couldn't bite the bullet with it, and I wasn't quite sure why. And then I saw this. Now this is, and I'm going to mispronounce this name, I'm sorry Nathan, I believe it's Huichi. We're close, okay? And it's a DK, it's 100% merino DK. And all I could think of when I saw this is, for one, I want all of my clothes in this colour. I am a bit obsessive with green. When it comes to greens, I kind of lose my mind a little bit. And as soon as I see them, I want an entire wardrobe in this colour. And this colourway is really no different. But when I saw these two together, because there is quite a lot of green in the Siren, I just thought, these look so happy together. They look so happy together, and they want to be brioche. I don't know what the pattern's going to be. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be some kind of brioche hat, and I love them. I think that they're gorgeous. I'm really happy to be able to use them together in a project as well, just because they were in a booth together, so it makes sense to me to use them in a project together. And oh, I just love them. I think that they're gorgeous, and oh, so thrilled with these colours. Obsessed. Can you tell I'm still a little bit high on the yarn fumes? I told you I had a super big yarn hangover. But as if that were not enough, when I actually went to visit Nathan at his booth with Layla, he also very, very kindly gifted me some skeins of yarn from Twisted Finch, from his company. And I die at how amazing these are, you guys. I really, really die. Let me show you these. So he actually gave me 3 different skeins of yarn, and I can't deal with how amazing they are. Did you see what I mean when I said that he just understands my palette in terms of autumn and gorgeousness? I'm going to start off with these two because I'm pretty sure that these are going to be in a project together. I've been wanting to make the Sizzle Pop shawl for the longest time, and don't you just think that these would make an incredible Sizzle Pop shawl? These are both MCN bases. Superwash merino, cashmere and nylon, and they are glorious. Such beautiful colours. This colour it makes my heart happy. But this, oh, I can't. The colourways, this is called Sky and this is Adrift, and they are just making my heart so happy. They, I told you his colourways give me life, right? I mean, just look at that spectrum of colour. Oh my goodness. But yes, these two are stunning and I can't wait. I definitely think I'm going to be using them for the Sizzle Pop Shawl. More brioche. I'm very much in a brioche place right now. But in addition to that, he also gifted me a skein of Fable. I'm going to do a close-up on this one so you can see the pure speckledy goodness of it. Look. So it's mostly this kind of mauvey kind of colour, but there are a lot of speckles in here, golden, blue, and this is a singles base again, so singles merino. And thanks to Kristen, I'm now kind of obsessed with singles yarn. So this will definitely be going into some kind of shawl project at some point when I find something really nice to work with it. But oh, it's gorgeous, it's glorious, and Nathan, thank you so much. It was such a joy to meet you, and I'm just head over heels in love with everything that you do, so mwah, you're amazing. I ended up getting yarn from one more place at Pomfest, and I think that it's going to be pretty clear as to where I made this final acquisition, and that ended up being at my lovely friend Amy of the Stranded Dye Works booth. Now I want to say first of all is, yes, Amy and I are incredibly good friends now. We talk on almost a day-to-day basis. Amy, Nikki and myself are bestest buddies. But I've been a huge fan of Amy and what she does for a long time, since before I met her, and so I'm stating my bias to start off with, but my love of her as a person has nothing to do with how much I love what she does. I genuinely think that she is one of the most exciting dyers out there in the UK at the moment, and I couldn't handle it in her booth. She's so amazing, so amazing. But one thing in particular that I really had my heart set on when I went to visit Amy is I wanted to try on her soiree sweater. Now, soiree is another pattern from one of the anniversary editions of Pom Pom, and I know that a lot of people have been going nuts over it. Here she is, soiree. Now, she's knit originally in viola, I believe. Isn't it gorgeous? That, oh, such a beautiful sweater. And I did check out what was on kind of offer in Viola's booth, but none of it was really speaking to me. And also, I wasn't entirely sure if the soiree would work for me, because carrying a little bit more weight than I have done over the past, 5 years or so, it's been a steady increase of weight. I know something like this would have looked super cute on me when I was about 1.5 stone lighter, but now that I'm carrying a little bit more around the middle and the bum area, I was a little bit apprehensive. So knowing that Amy had already knit up the soiree sweater, which she has done, you can check it out on her podcast, it looks beautiful on her. I believe she's put some pictures on Instagram of it as well, but I'm not entirely sure. But I asked if I'd be able to give it a little try on at Pomfest, and she, because she is wonderful, of course said yes. So I tried on the sweater and pranced about like a kind of fool in it, and it was beautiful. It's a fabulous pattern. The yarn that it was knit in obviously was gorgeous. It was Stranded Dye Works yarn. And I decided in that moment that I needed to have a soiree sweater of my very own. And I was kind of browsing through Amy's yarn because I thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice to knit something out of one of my best friend's yarns? Particularly, it would be funny because we'd kind of be matching, because she's knit it out of her yarn and I would have knit it out of her yarn, and Nikki was going to be knitting it out of some Stranded Dye Works yarn as well. And I picked up a skein and thought, oh, this would make a lovely soiree. It's the same colour that Amy knit hers in. It's the same colour, and this happened. I always say about Amy, she has a very specific power over a lot of people on the internet, because whenever she knits a sweater, a lot of people jump on the bandwagon and want to knit it too. I've been a victim of that previously with my pavement sweater. She knit one and therefore I had to cast one on pretty much the week afterwards. Recently she's cast on the boxy sweater, and I now have this mental image of me knitting a boxy sweater, and I want to make that happen. But my obsession with kind of knitting similar things to Amy has now taken on a life of its own and has gone to an entirely different level. We've leveled up in terms of how much I apparently just want to be Amy, because I'm going to be knitting my soiree sweater in the exact same colourway that Amy knit hers in. This is Shiner. This is one of Amy's beautiful colours. It's kind of a grey lavender. I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm knitting it in a combination of her Paradise base, which is again an MCN, very big fan of the MCN, but also in her Drift base, which is a Kid Mohair silk blend. So we have here 6 skeins of gorgeousness to be turned into a soiree sweater, and then Amy and I are going to be sweater twinsies, like full-on sweater twinsies. Let me just show you these a little bit close up so you can really appreciate how beautiful they are. So there we have the stranded dye works label. This is Drift, so it's obviously the Kid Mohair silk blend, and that is what Shiner looks like on this blend. And on the MCN, there's Amy's Paradise stranded label. It's a little bit softer, a little bit paler, but I love how these two look together. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So yeah, from someone who was saying that they had too many sweater quantities of yarn, they've suddenly accumulated 2 more sweater quantities of yarn, plus extra skeins of yarn for other projects, and I really don't need to buy any more yarn in the near future. I do think, like, I'm just juggling these, it looks very bizarre, but I am really, really happy that I treated myself to some really special yarn, to some really special people, because goodness knows this made me so happy, and it still is, and look at it, and maybe I should put all of it in my arms just so you can appreciate how much of it there is. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Oh, this isn't gonna work. It's not gonna work, is it? Oh my lord. I think I did all right, you know. I mean, there's always room for improvement. I'm gonna have to find a way to safely put these down. I'll just hold them on my lap like a small fat puppy. It's not small, it's like a big fat puppy of yarn. So yeah guys, suffice it to say, I had an amazing time at Pomfest. It was a really, really lovely day, filled with absolutely wonderful people, and if Pom Pom decide that they're going to be doing any other events in the near future, I can say with all certainty, as long as I'm available, I will be there with bells on, because it was just fabulous. And if the hall shows anything, it just shows how enthusiastic I was about the people that were vending there. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have to talk about this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please do give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe to be kept up to date when there are new videos on this channel. We'll be back to business as usual again next week with our regular podcast episode. But for now, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of extra Pomfest footage at the end of this video, but I'm sending you all so much love and happy sewing, happy knitting, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!
We're actually going to make us really pink ladies type jackets with 12 quads. What's that? What's that?
is. Hey, look, do you get this? I'm on another podcast.
Yeah, Nikki's taken over the podcast sphere.
I'm hanging on a ring to Katie now.
Yeah.
She's cooler than Amy.
Oh.
Whatever.
Oh, God, hi.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah, look at that. Oh, they've made up. They're friends. They're friends.
Because she has me a sweater.
Yeah. But yeah, Nikki thinks I'm going to sew us all pink lady jackets now.
Yeah.
So everyone's nodding in agreement. I'm shaking my head behind the camera.
Nothing else to do with the time.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll let you go to Ray Stitch
Oh, okay.
and go mad.
Okay,
in
nice.
Ray Stitch.
Who's going to be funding this trip?
Or crowdfund. Send your money to Katie. To fund our outfits.
I do not condone this extortion, guys. I do not condone it.
We do.
This is why Amy doesn't let me on.
This is what the hysteria has come in now.
Nikki in charge of the editing. I
Yeah.
put it down.
No, she cuts so much out. And it's such a
There's
fun.
so many things.
Yay!
It's like, yeah, we could do this. We had at least, how many cows did I say we had?
Quite a lot.
Cows. Lots of new colourways.
As soon as they're mentioned, though, they become obligations, and I'm like, no, we'll just keep them in my head.
I've totally stolen Amy's soiree sweater and I'm never giving it back again. Leg it.